This is take 3 for this. Hello and welcome to another CBits Tech video. I had to drive for about an hour to get it once when I got the first one of these units, and I gave it to my wife because she wanted to have it on her working space in the dining room, or office space in the dining room. And I've been jealous of her since because I haven't got one, and it's a really good hi-fi unit with CD text on it. So I've been on the lookout for it, and there was a couple that came up on eBay, and I won one of them, and I'll show you the price now. I think it was about £80. I did send the seller a message saying please pack it well. Postage and packing was £20, and he or she did a good job at packing it, I think, but we'll have to wait and see whether it's been dropped and damaged in transit. Yeah, so very good packaging so far. Well, I say very good. I mean, it's in a box with no padding around the outside. Then the box has got some padding on the outside of that. So I'm kind of hopeful everything's going to be okay. Try not to drop it. So we have the original speakers, which I'll unpack in a bit. And an instruction manual. 2 instruction manuals, one for the Hi-Fi, one for the cassette deck. Now I didn't get the cassette deck when I got the original ones, so I put a Denon cassette deck which I didn't have, which is a similar size and colour for my wife's setup. So there's the other speaker. So this one's going in my office, and some speaker cable, which is handy. I've got a spare speaker cable in storage if I need it. Oh, let's have a look at this then. Oh crap, that's heavy. Oh, and upside down. There's the cassette deck. I think I need to get it all out, get myself organised, and then deal with it one bit at a time. But what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of this other Hi-Fi, which I really I bought because it's got a fancy panel on it. I did the repair for it, and the panel rotates, but I never really used it for that purpose. And it didn't sound too good, and just recently the that's broken. Don't know what that is. Oh, that's the stand for the loop antenna, so that's been broken in transit. Yeah, so back to this Hi-Fi. There's the loop antenna, it's just broken off, which is okay, I don't use the radio anyway. And there's the remote for it. Excellent to have the remote, because there's some functions you can only access via the remote. Yeah, so going back to this Hi-Fi, the sound quality wasn't great on it. I did do a weird job fixing the Minidisc player, and the cassette player I fixed, put new belts on it, but it was when it played in the forward direction there was a little bit of flutter, wow and flutter, mainly flutter, and when I played it in the reverse direction it was fine. So all I could conclude from that it was the capstan, had a problem with the capstan, so I didn't use it for cassette. And when I went to play with the Minidisc the other day, I was going to do a demonstration of copying a CD over to Minidisc, and unfortunately it kept ejecting the Minidisc again every time I put it in, and I thought this is unreliable. So let's have a look at these speakers now. Oops, there we go. So there's the speakers. Let's get a bit closer if we can without hitting the tripod. So they are the original speakers for it, I believe. And they are in pretty good condition. A little bit of mark, this is like a veneer, a little bit dirty. But I think I've got another set of those, hang on. No, I haven't. So the other set I've got of these are the ones which my wife is using on this particular stereo. So, very nice. So let's put those down and we'll get to opening the units up. Talking of speakers, I'll show you my stack of speakers. So there's my JVCs, my Sonys, and 2 Mission speakers there. These go down behind my monitor. I do have a problem with a lot of speakers. This cassette deck's heavy. Yeah, I do have a problem with a lot of speakers. Of those 4 sets, one is being used for my Sony La Scala, and one is being used for my Pioneer system, and one is being used for this JVC, and the other was being used for that whatever that model is, that one there I'll show you on the screen. But of course I'll be able to retire that set of speakers, but that involves sorting them all out. And I'm sure there's some good acoustic reasons and magnetic reasons why you shouldn't have all your speakers stacked up. But I'm in a small bedroom which I use as an office, so I don't really have a lot of choice. So this is in pretty good condition. It's all supposed to be working. Let's turn Dolby off because I won't be using that. That's fine. It is all supposed to be working, so hopefully I'm going to do a test for you once we get sorted out. There's a bit missing. There is a unit that you need to connect the cassette deck to the rest of it. And that is not here at the moment. Reorganise myself, but that's the missing unit. If you don't have that, and he's velcroed that to the back, then you can get the audio from the cassette deck into the main unit, but you can't get the functions, the control functions, from the main unit to the cassette deck, and vice versa. So let's get that sorted out. I apologise for all the background noise on this, but you can't really unwrap plastic without making a bit of noise about it. I'll mute this bit. And as usual, I can't get all on the desk. So there it is. Beautiful unit, Minidisc, CD, radio. We'll turn it on in a minute. And it's in pretty good nick. And it is incredibly heavy, much heavier than it seems. Which is fine, you'd expect the amp to be heavy because it's got a load of amplification circuits and a power supply in there. But the cassette is equally heavy, so let's have a weigh. 2.2 kilograms, which in old units is £4 and 15 ounces. Right, let's set it up then. What I've just noticed is it's a bit inconvenient because the I need two sockets, which is a bit weird. Normally you'd get so that's the original plug, and that will go into the wall. And then this type of plug, you can take this 3-pin part off, and there's a 2-pin plug there which you can plug into a power supply for something else, which that's what it's designed for. It's designed to be plugged into another unit so you can daisy chain the power. But there's no socket for it on there, so I wonder whether there was another type of unit for this somewhere. Another type of unit which would have power on it. And this is the part of the unit which that's supposed to be attached to. Which is a bit weird because it doesn't actually fit. Let's untangle myself. So what I think I'll do, this is like the command unit, so when you use the remote control it goes through the main unit and then is transmitted to the cassette deck for your stop and start commands and that sort of thing. Now we've got some cables which again are all tangled up. Now I've just got that in the way there. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. But you already knew that, didn't you? Okay, so we've got right and left, and I think that's the wrong way around. I always thought the right was supposed to be the red one, but never mind. So we've got right and left in and out. So if I just match those up, that's not right either. So we've got that one. What is going on here? So we've got the output is on the left hand side. Let's take the cables out. This doesn't make any sense. They were crossed over. So we've got output on the left, input on the right, and we're going to go output on the left is going to go to the input on the cassette deck. So those are around the wrong way. So that's in, so we've got input on the cassette deck, and then output on the cassette deck to input on the unit. And The reason we'd have an output and input is because you want to record, maybe from Minidisc to cassette, and then you want to be able to get the sound out of the cassette deck back into the unit to send off to the amp. So now with that sorted out, I can slide this under there a little bit and then plug that in there. So that's for the commands. And then we've got speaker, antenna, which I'm not even going to bother connecting because I don't listen to the radio. We've got optical down the bottom, which you can only just see, and an RF, an FM antenna there, which again I won't be using. So that is our optical input. Now I'll have to figure out whether I want an optical input, because I've got an optical input on my Pioneer, for which that's the remote for, and I'll show you a screenshot of it now, and that is currently connected up to my computer, which has an optical output. These are 6 ohm speakers, which are the same as my Denon by Mission speakers, or is it Mission by Denon, I don't know. And this one's a 6 to 16 ohms. So what I might do is leave my existing tower of speakers there, but just do a test on these. If I do a test on these and listen to the sound quality, and then do a test on the speakers which are already in the stack, then I might leave those speakers in the stack if they're as good quality as these, and then just run them off of the speakers that are already in the stack. So I'll get the speaker cables hooked up, and most of the regular listeners will know about how to hook up speaker cables, but just in case, there might be some people who don't know. So this is the speaker wire. There's only one speaker wire, so I don't know what's going on with that. So there's only one speaker wire, so I'm gonna use my existing speakers in the stack for the demonstration. Like I say, I've got some spare speaker wire in storage, so I'll have to go and get that. So let me get the let me thread the other speaker wires over to here then. And wouldn't you know it, I haven't quite got enough cable, so I've had to move things over a little bit. But it won't be a problem when this unit goes into its permanent position. So these are the right speakers. I've got an R on the label there, and generally that is the positive. That's the way I use them anyway, so I'll put those in there. I wonder if that seller's thinking, oh my god, I forgot to send him some speaker cable. Bit of fluff coming out of there. So these are quite simple. You just push this little lever up, feed it into there, and lever goes down again. And the same for these. Make sure you get the polarity right. There we go. So the only thing that remains for me to do is spin this around, which I'll do in a second, and get ready to plug it on and see if it works. Plug it in and switch it on, see if it works. So I'll do that off camera. Okay, so the power is on, and I can notice a mains hum, but these units aren't on yet. So I'm going to have to fix that, because although my hearing is not that good, I cannot be having a mains hum. You probably can't hear it. There's a really annoying ice cream van. He goes around all day as soon as the sun comes out, and plays this annoying tune, repetitive tune, all over and over again. It drives me absolutely mental. Have we got a free mini disc? No, we don't. Have we got a free CD? No, we don't. Now that should only be on, I think that symbol should only be on if there's a CD in there. So let's try and figure out where the function button is for the mini disc. We're on radio at the moment. I'll put some batteries in here. There it is, right at the bottom there. Let's see what happens. Is it going to read it? Oh, it's read it already, so that's good. Let's play. This is my demo disc. That is very pleasing. It's very heavy on the bass. That is very bassy. There's probably some equalization settings somewhere. Now, my problem is with the mini disc players I've got in the office, which there's only one there, my Pioneer one. And the reason I use so many cassettes is, say I'm several tracks through this mini disc, and the phone goes off, or I have to pop downstairs or something like that, I just turn the unit off. And when I turn the other one back on, it starts right back at the beginning track of the mini disc, and I don't get the other tracks at the end. And I'm wondering whether this has got a feature that where it doesn't do that. There might be some setting in the manual, maybe. But when I press that, oh, it's CD. Hang on, I want to go to mini disc. 1 second. Let's try that. Nope. Mini disc. Yep. Mini disc. Oh, there's the play button for a mini disc. No, it starts right back at the beginning again. And that's why I play cassettes. This is my office, and during the day I'm in here a full 8 hours minus a break, typically. And what I want to be able to do is play something, and this is why I use cassettes, because once I stop the cassette, it's going to pick up where I finished off, and that's why I use cassettes so much. So let's test out the cassette deck. I've got a mini disc. Sorry, I've got a CD here I can test it with. Aren't I organised? Look at that. YouTube music. Now, I think that light should be off if there's not a disc in there. No, it comes on automatically, so... That does not sound right. Yeah, something wrong with that. What I think it is the belt. So I think the belt on this may be a bit failing, or the sensor at the back that detects when the disc tray is closed. I think that's not working. So let's try that again. Yeah, so I think it's the sensor at the back, and it might just be a case of me holding it in. I'm not going to use CDs very often, so I'm probably not going to take it apart for that. But this CD does have some CD text on it, on the tracks later on in the CD. So some of them are for MP3s and some of them are for WAV files from a CD, I think. So let's go through the tracks. We'll see if we can get CD text on here. It might not be on this CD. So CD text, what it is the, like on a mini disc, if you've got the track names input to the mini disc, to the table of contents, it will show on the display. And likewise, CD text can be on some CDs, and when you put the CD in, the text, the track names will show up in the display as well. And the good thing I like about this deck is if I'm recording from CD to mini disc, it will bring over those track names from the CD text CD, put them on the mini disc for me as well. So let me have a quick breather and then we'll test the cassette deck. Right, so I have my demo cassette. So that's got YouTube music, YouTube friendly music on it, copyright free music, and 2 tracks, 4+, I don't know what that means. And then on this side we've got left and right, so I'll be able to tell whether I've wired the speakers up the right way around, because one will say left and one will say right. But I'm not putting that, which is effectively a brand new cassette, in this, because I don't know whether it's clean. I don't know whether it's working. So this is an expendable test tape, which I can't play the music on, I don't think. But if this one gets caught up in the rollers and it kills the cassette, then I'm okay with that, because it's a cheap and horrible cassette, and has lots of dropouts on it. So let's wind that out a little bit. So let's see what happens. I haven't cleaned it, but I will clean it in a minute. Ooh, that's fancy. I can't play a lot of that, but it's auto reverse as well. Oh, that's automatic music search. So where's my auto reverse? Oh, there it is. So that's the other side. So let's take that out. And I will probably entrust my cassette on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewind this cassette a little bit because it's been playing this cassette. Unfortunately, the lighting in this part of the office is not very good, so, and it doesn't appear to have damaged the cassette. So that's just a test tape. So I will put this one in now, but I will give it a clean with, because I can't easily get to the heads on here. So I've got this little cassette here with some cleaning solution, and you put it on the pads, and then as it spins it wipes across the head, and these come in contact with the pinch rollers and the capstans. So you put some 5 lots of IPA on it and put it in, and it's ideal for this sort of system where you can't get to the heads easily. So let's have a go. Let's do our left-right test.
Right, front, center, front, center, side, left, side, left, side, right, front, center, front, center, side, left, side, right, front.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to come across very well on the phone camera I'm using, but that is left and right sorted out. So let's play the demo on the other side. Oh, it's that. There's the button. So there's the opposite direction. It does sound a little bit muffled, I have to say. I'll crank it up so you can hear it. Yeah, that does sound quite a bit muffled. It's low end is not very good on that. It's not very clear, but it is working. So we'll test the music search. Yep, that's working. Let's go back the other way and test the music search that way. Oh, we can't really do that because it's not really got tracks on it. So I cannot believe I'm actually very happy about that. So this is going to replace that horrible old, I think it was an Iowa one. This one here, I'll show you a screenshot of it. So you want to see me use this? We'll go that. So what I'll be doing is I'll be deciding on the speakers for this. Am I going to put the original speakers in, which I possibly will. So what I'm doing is putting a dab of this cleaning solution on all these pads here. You can see I've used it before. And then just pop that in. And the only problem we've got is if it pushes up against something, it doesn't always spin. It sort of gets stuck in the middle, like that. But we'll, you know, it's better than having to take the thing apart to clean it. Helps if you take the old cassette out first. Oh, it already is. So it's now cleaning the reed head, the playback head, and also one of the capstans on one side, and then we switch it to the other direction, and then that capstan will come into play, that pinch roller will come into play, and it is cleaning the other side as well. Oh, that's interesting. So I think maybe the belts might be a little bit out on this. But that's as good as I need. So if I do that every 10 tapes or something like that, maybe once a week, if I'm using it full time, then I'll be playing maybe 4 or 5 tapes a day in it. So let's have a listen to our demo and see if that's any better now. It's a bit slow as well. Let's go back the other way. Let's I think we might have a belt issue on this. Oh, it's that way now, isn't it?
Center, front, center.
Yeah, that is not great quality, I have to say. So I think I might be taking this apart, and it's running quite slow as well. Right, so I've had about 30 seconds of thinking time and my food is ready. So I've got a funny feeling that this is running too slow, and I can do a speed adjustment on it, and that will require taking cover off. When I take the cover off, I can clean the playback head, record head, and the capstans and pinch rollers. But I've got a funny feeling I'm going to find that the cassette belts have probably had it as well. So I've also got to fix that issue with the buzz on the speakers. So I'm going to go off to my storage and get my speaker cable out and connect up the original speakers. If the original speakers are fine, then I'll use those and take one of my other pairs of speakers out of the stack. Could be the speakers that have had it, who knows. But yeah, I'll probably put the original speakers in as well if I get time. So what I will do though is give this a run with a probably this cassette, which is not very good, but just run it back and forth all the way, because if this hasn't been used for cassettes, that the mechanism will need to be run in, if you like, again. There'll be some of the lubricants might be a little bit hard, but giving it a good running for a couple of hours will help move the cassette mechanism around, and that might improve the speed. So that is what you might see in another video. I might have to service this and maybe replace the belt, so that'll be 1 or 2 videos coming up. Well, get my words in a mess there. Right, so you might see a video in the future where I service this. So I'm going to run it in with a couple of hours of playing a cassette, and then I'll test it again tomorrow with the right speakers. And if it needs any more work, no doubt you'll see a video for it in the future. So if you've got this far, you must have liked the video. So click the thumbs up, give me a thumbs up. Right, so this is either going to be an add-on bit to the video I just shot for delivery and testing of this, or a separate video. I haven't decided yet. But it's the same night as the delivery video, and I'm just undoing the cassette deck on both sides. I won't bother rearranging the camera, but I'll be back when I've undone the other two on the other side. And what I found is it wasn't too slow. It was turned out after I've run it in for an hour or so, it was running a little bit too fast. So I'm just going to have a quick adjustment on the speed. I think I've cleaned the cassette playback heads as well through the door at the front, because you can just get a Q-tip in there. They were quite clean. Both capstans, both pinch rollers look pretty good as well. But it is quite muffled, so I've got to put some different speakers on it. But this is just a speed adjustment because it looks quite simple. Let me take the lid off. There we go. So we'll look inside. There's bits of something all over it. Let's get that out of the way. Right, so that's cassette mech. The belts, I've looked this up on YouTube. Some bloke tore it down, but he tore it down as a one-way one, so it wasn't going to be going back together again. The belts for the cassette mech are underneath the unit here. But what I'm going to do, it sounds alright. There's no wow and flutter that I can tell, but it is running a little bit out of speed. So there's 2 motors here. This is the motor, which is responsible for the ejecting the cassette mech. This is all off, by the way, and don't copy me. I'm not a trained electronics expert. All of this can store electricity, so I'm keeping my hands well away from all the high voltage stuff. But this motor here is responsible for the direction and the belts which run underneath. There's 2 belts, one large, one small, and this hole here is the speed adjustment. But I can't easily demonstrate the speed adjustment on camera because I use commercially produced copyrighted music, so I can't really demonstrate it. and it would take me a long time to set that up, and I haven't really got time for it. So I'm just going to do a speed adjustment on this and use it over the next couple of days, and I'll report back if it needs any extra work done. Thanks a lot. I'll see you in the next video.